The next heading would be astrology and the luminaries, which I'm sure you'll explain for anybody that doesn't know what a luminary is in APM eyes, what it equates to in the mainstream. Planets, basically, is what I meant. So,
Yeah.
but the questions would be what are the heavens? What's your description of the heavens?
The heavens. I would call it the upper ether, where other things are taking place. There's different layers of angels and some are using high altitude and some at medium and some at low altitudes. So I would say that's where the high voltage is. That's the higher you go, the voltage increases, and that's because we're getting closer to the halos of Adam. Adam's the electric, remember. So the closer we get to electro, the more electrical potential there is in the ether. Now, how that works is what the angels are doing in the ether. I'm probably sidetracking here from the question. But what they do in the ether is the angels in the upper atmosphere are basically channeling down to the ones in the lower atmosphere high energy potential electric through like the vortexes of tornadoes and such. This is your sprites and your tornadoes working together. These are angels working together at different altitudes. They send in the high potential voltage down and the low potential replaces it as it goes up, and then that gets reprogrammed as high potential voltage again. So it's an ongoing cyclic process of what they're doing in the heavens. Now,
Cosmic exchange.
and we don't know how high they actually go. There's another thing. We've no idea on what height these stop operating at. We don't know their ceiling of operation. We don't know the true ceiling yet. And man can probably not get anywhere near it because of electrical discharges and heat and other things going on. So man's limited on how far up they can send things.
Yeah, one's video was fantastic, revealing the atmospheres going up, and there are some questions related to that.
Do you have any questions on the star signs and things like that coming up? Or because I could add them now if you like.
Go for it. Just allow it flow.
Yeah, the birth signs. What I realised when I was doing the seasons work, the work for the sun to create the calendar across the grid that we're using, I realised that the star signs are actually the gates. This is what they're tied to, the gates. They're not tied to something in the sky. They're tied to a physical location in the east, where the luminaries come from. And if you look at our seasons video, you'll see there's 12 gates show on it, and the sequence and angles of them are what create what we call our seasons. And what it does, it gives the north a season and the south a season. Well, actually, the seasons in the north, and then it switches to the south and gives them their summer as we're getting winter. So you've got two equal but opposite things going on with the seasons, north and south of the equator. That is by design. That's, the globe has to explain this by saying there's a wobble. It wobbles a bit and it makes the sun go back the other way, and then it wobbles and it goes back the way again. Well, that's not really what's happening, is it? No, there's a lot more going on with the sun. If you watch our seasons video, you'll see how we map it crossing the world, and it crosses the map epicycling. And then you'll see we've added the return path for it to come back, because it has to get back to east to start again for the next sunrise. Mm-hmm. So for 10 months of the year, it's crossing during the day, illuminated, and returning in a standby state, switched off, ready to get back to the start position for the next sunrise. That's the light we're seeing in the sky. It returning is part of this technology making its way back. Now Jimbo's decode of this, I showed Jimbo this, and he knew the technological terminology for it. And he said, this is a sweepback transformer and flyback killer. I says, explain that a bit more. I'd heard it before, but I didn't look into it. It didn't mean much to me. So he explained it to me. It sweeps the sun across, Gets to a certain point, then it suppresses the light, and then it flies back as fast as possible to get back to the start position again, which made sense to me. Now I know what I'm looking at, because it goes slow across east to west, and it returns very, very fast west to east as that light they're trying to call the ISS. So that's the sweepback transformer and flyback killer. And like I said, that does that for 10 months a year, because June and December are the solstices. What happens then, we've got 24-hour sun in the north and the south, one in June and one in December. The December one hasn't been proven, but there is some globers coming up with something currently, but they're going to fake it, because they're going to be looking at the sun on the 14th. Well, that's not the solstice. It has to be after the 22nd of December to catch it doing the 24-hour sun. Now, I've always said it does that in the south, in the Antarctic. We just can't see it because Antarctica's coastlines, I think it's 300 foot tall or something. So you'd never see it in the distance beyond that, whereas in the north, you can see the glow in the north going across the horizon.
Yeah.
From, a certain latitude, you can see that. So it has to happen in the south. When people look at the configuration of our map and grid, they'll see it's exact the same in the south as it would be in the north, only it just mirrors it. It's kind of a mirroring what's going on in the north. Why wouldn't it? It's symmetrically perfect for doing it.
Yes, a complete balance.
And
mirrored.
Yeah, and of course, these are the solstice markers which our ancestors had calendars for. What it's telling them is the sun's reached its north. Say it was the northern 24-hour sun, which is currently ongoing now. Once it's reached this position, it's telling you by doing this 24-hour sun, the sun's reached its farthest north point that it's going to go. It's going to do 24-hour sun for a month, and it's going to return back south again down the gates each month. That's what it's doing. Same applies in December. Does the same. It's to let the south know, 24-hour sun cycles there. Obviously, there's another reason it's doing this. It's not just to let us know where the sun is. We know where it is. And we know the solstice is the 24-hour sun. So there has to be a reason why the sun's doing this 2 times a year. We'll have to look into that deeper at some point. Why is this mechanism going north and south to do this? There has to be another reason for it to me. There's probably something else going on we're not looking at yet.
Yeah, why is it rested there? Is it collecting energy? Is it giving energy? Is there something, gathering going on, or a reset type clock? Mechanism. I mean, it's vast, isn't it, to even think about? I know your brain is probably thinking, well, yeah, I've got much better ideas than that, but everyone else's brain is like, yes, let's think about this.
Yeah. Well, you have to. You've got to go down these avenues. We know it exists. We know what it's doing. What's the reason it's doing it? Why is it doing that? You have to ask yourself. Yeah, we know it's doing it, but why is it doing it? So those questions have to be answered as well. Is there a specific reason it does that in the north and south? Other than, it can't just be to let us know it's 24-hour sun and it's going to start going back the other way, because I'm pretty sure humans would figure that out after a few seasons.
Yes.
So there's another reason there why they do this, and I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't given it a lot of deep thought, but one day I'll then maybe work a bit more of that out. Why does it go north and south? That's the beauty of this research, isn't it? It never ends. This is never going to end, and you'll never find everything and prove everything. It's an impossible task for anyone.
Yeah, unless the creator of whoever or whatever that is.
Yeah, you can't preempt the creator. You can't try and guess what the creator's plan is, because you don't know it. You won't see it. The cycles here that probably haven't even started yet.
And everything is codependent. That's what's coming around. That you see constant spirals of things, but it's the synchronicities. It's everything has its place, its time, its purpose in this construct.
It does.
And so, and obviously APM have done vast research into the construct and what's going on behind the scenes with the parasite people.
Yeah.
But it that bigger picture, I mean, my understanding is that you really do see, like into the TARDIS, but the rest of us don't. So, there has to be people that come to the table to extend this knowledge for you.
Yeah.
you
that's
know.
that's another thing. That, I'm hoping people from the science community start getting in touch. Seeker
Yeah.
Seeker from our Discord's already sent an email to Judy Woods. So fingers crossed that she gets back in touch and we can have a little chat. And as you've seen
Yes.
with some of the
Definitely.
memes I've made, I made a meme for the tribes to my west.
Hmm.
They should recognise the sacred geometry in there and my decodings of what it really is connected to, and that's their birthright. And there's an invite for them. I want to have counsel with the tribes because I've got information they need to complete their creation stories.
Yes, you do. Going off quilter a little bit there, talking about the ancestral knowledge and things. The Druids, for instance, which they're called in Ireland, it would be Dre, but they're the people that were everyone associates that held a knowledge, whatever, priest-like thing. You can equate it to, or a teacher, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also linked with the British monarchy. Okay. So, they have their ceremonies and the Freemasonry thing. It's very Druid-like, a lot of this ritual stuff that they've incorporated. And I'm not saying our ancestors were necessarily doing it, but do you think they've possibly, like I've said about sort of tribal elders and things, maybe knowing some things but not all, or hiding some knowledge because of their own safety for their own, future tribe and things like that. And do you think this our ancestors, for instance, the Celts, the Irish, whatever, were hijacked, swept in, and sort of working against, our own ancestors these days?
Well, what we do know is, when the Romans invaded, they invaded somewhere south in South England, and they thought that was it. That would be Britain conquered. But then they realised Britain wasn't actually being run from England. It was being run from Anglesey in Wales, which was the Druids. It was coming from the Druids. They were
Yeah.
the mind of Britain, not just Britain.
Yeah.
This actually spread far into Europe. The reach of the
Yes.
Druids and the teachings. It was a lot of it was coming from Wales. And it doesn't look like they've done to Wales what they've done to other places. But when you look at like coinage, you will not see the Welsh dragon on coins. When you look at certain coins, you'll see the harp from Ireland, you'll see the rampant lion
Mhm.
from Scotland, you'll see England's lions, but you won't see anything
Yes,
from Wales. You just see two sets of England lions. So
that's
yeah,
right.
when
This is
they
the
so
whole point.
they've stolen everything from Wales and assumed the position of being the teacher, but now they only teach it to those they want to teach it to, it seems.
Yes.
They've copyrighted, haven't they? They've stolen it and copyrighted it, hijacked it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing anyway. And I'm pretty sure people in Wales are noticing, where's the Welsh flag and the Union Jack?
There's definitely something with Wales. We've had that
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah. And there is a Prince of Wales. The Prince of Wales is not a person. The Prince of Wales is an
Right.
angel in the underworld.
Yeah.
The real Prince of Wales is an angel below Cardiff.
There you go.
A very
No,
that one plays a very important role. That's why it's called a prince in modern times. In ancient times it'll have been some other name, other title. Names and titles change, but the technology just keeps doing what it's designed to do. Like clockwork, isn't it? It just ticks over doing what it does.
Yeah.
Did that answer the question? Because I can't remember what the question was now.
We sort of started with the heavens, and then I went off onto a tangent, didn't I, about druids?
Right,
So
yeah.
sorry
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
we're on about the luminaries, yeah. So luminaries, a quick jump back to luminaries. The stars are nodes on halos.
That was my question. Yeah.
Yeah, because if
What
you
are stars and what are they made of?
they're actually technology. What you see in the sky is an effect from technology below.